Mac School Prep TV. In this video, we are going to be discussing part 5 of our 6-part series on learning and studying. How excited, we're almost to the end. Hang in there. My name is Mackenzie Warren. If you do not know, I'm the founder of Mac School Prep. And without further ado, because I know you're on the edge of your seat to go ahead and jump right into the content, I just want to encourage you to go ahead, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notification bell so that you can stay in the loop with future content. Okay, it's time. Let's get it. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down phase 2, phase dose of the learning process, i.e. the studying phase. We've already talked about phase 1 of the learning process, which is the actual being taught phase. And now we are transitioning to the latter half of what all is involved in learning. The studying phase, what is that all about? It's about exhausting all avenues, all efforts to ensure your mastery of the material at hand. Essentially, studying is a way to transfer the large amount of information in your books, in your notes, to a reliable spot in your mind in which that information can be easily recalled, not just for upcoming tests, but also in your long-term future as well. Even though you may feel like some of the information that you're learning, some of the material that you're being exposed to is irrelevant at the time. And what I mean by that is, maybe learning the Pythagorean theorem when you don't even have plans to be an engineer. So you might feel like that's irrelevant. It's still important that we accumulate as much knowledge as we can while we're young, while our brains are still fresh. I say this because as adults, being well versed in the fundamentals of English, math, language, history, science, you name it, being well versed in those topics in addition to having a more in-depth knowledge and understanding of whatever it is that we decide to major in, that's going to give us this edge, give us this leg up over our colleagues who maybe didn't take the subjects that they weren't interested in as seriously. When we have that fundamental understanding of those other subjects in addition to our major, inevitably we're going to be carrying around this repertoire of tools that could prove useful at any time. And so, for example, you never know when you're going to have to do some quick math at the grocery store or at an outdoor market so that somebody doesn't rip you off. You never know when you're going to have to reference maybe a old historical event in U.S. history to kind of engage in a debate or an intellectual discussion with a coworker. But if those situations do arise, you want to be prepared, you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel confident. That's why you never want to have this mentality that the material you are learning is irrelevant. Now, you might be wondering, okay, Mackenzie, got that, but you're not answering me yet. How do I study? How do I get the information from my books into my head, into my brain? How can I get fully prepared for an upcoming exam? How can I be able to access knowledge in my future when you say these random situations arise? Well, I hate to break it to you, there is no silver bullet to how to study. There is no one answer. There is no single cut and dry process that'll tell you this is how you do it, this is the correct way. There's none of that. Studying is really, you're probably not going to like to hear this, but it's a trial and error process. It's all about figuring out what works for you. And that's why in the beginning of Mac School Prep, I was laying the groundwork for discovering who you are. It's so important that you are familiar with everything you're about, because when it comes to studying, in addition to a bunch of other things, it's all about figuring out what works for you. And if you don't know who you are, you're not going to be able to figure out what works for you. For example, classes like, math, they're a game of practice, and, oh yeah, more practice, right? And so you're doing this because you're trying to gain familiarity with all the different ways a problem can be presented to you and all the different ways to approach those problems. Studying for a math class or an upcoming math exam, that might consist of reading through your notes a few times so that you can, have a basic understanding of the steps of a process. And then after that, you might finish off your study session by completing a series of sample problems until you feel so comfortable with the information, so comfortable with the process, so comfortable with all the different ways that a problem can be presented to you that you know, no doubt in your mind, there is no curveball that can be thrown at you that will throw you off your game. But classes like science and history, those are all about memorization, being able to retain facts like what were the underlying issues that led to World War II, or what are the different organs that are in our body, or what are the different steps in the digestion process, things like that. But the good news is that if you put in the time to memorize the information, if you put in the time to internalize the material, there is no reason that you shouldn't be successful on the upcoming assessment. But now you might be asking me, Mackenzie, what's the key to retaining those facts? Is there a silver bullet to that? To be honest, it's all up to you. And what I mean by that is some people's brains require repeated exposure to the material that they're trying to memorize. And so the trick that might help that person is flashcards, which allow you to continuously see the information over and over and over again until it finally sticks. But other people, they just need to write down the information and be able to internalize it. And so the trick for them might just be, as they're reading the textbook, taking notes so that they're still engaging and interacting with the material that they're reading. And then a few days before the test, they just review the notes, and that'll just give them that exact refresher that they need to be able to recall the information that they're being tested over. But you should know that in order to figure out which study avenues work for you, you have to be familiar with how your brain works. And that all boils down to knowing what type of learner you are. So once again, I encourage you, if you haven't taken the learner quiz that was included in the description to the video that was part 3 of this 6-part series, then you need to go do that right now before you continue on. Trust me, it's in your best interest. With that said, I want to put it out there that a common denominator across all study avenues is that they all require time and effort. And I think I'm missing one more thing. Oh yeah, time and effort. More time and effort. My dad always tells me people pour their time, energy, and effort into the things that matter most to them. And I get it. We all want to go hang out with our friends, or watch Netflix, or go outside and play, or do whatever it is that brings a smile to our face instead of sitting down and having to come to Jesus a one-on-one with our school books. But the best advice that I can give you to encourage you to not put your schoolwork on the back burner is that you cannot give up what you want most for what you want now. And what that means is that if you really want a college degree, or you really want a good career or a well-paying job, you cannot sacrifice your education to go out and shoot the breeze with your buddies every single day. It just cannot happen. Trust me, you're going to reap the biggest reward if you follow the more difficult path of having self-discipline and delaying immediate pleasure and gratification for a bigger purpose. I'm gonna be honest with you. Being a mover and shaker, being successful, those things don't come easy. They come for a price, and that price is hard work, which I get it, it's not always pleasurable. I mean, no kidding, it's not called hard work for nothing. But you have to listen to me when I say that if we live our lives to have instant pleasure and to always avoid pain, we're never gonna grow. We're never gonna accomplish anything, and our dreams are never going to become a reality. So, with all that said, because I know it got a little intense, we're gonna put a pin in this topic for now, but I will see you for part 6 of our 6-part series in the next video. It's all coming to a close. We're wrapping it up, but it's exciting. It's more information. But before you go, if you haven't done it already, go ahead, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a beat. Alrighty, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!